Sure would be nice to spend a night at the Goth Grand Hotel.
Paimon thinks so too. The rooms are sure to be big and clean.
Still, I've heard Mr. Goth say that they've had...
Whoa! Healthcare is free in Sumeru?
Are you feeling unwell, Paimon?
No, not right now. Thanks for asking, though. Eating the street food on every corner has never sounded so tempting.
Your stomach is gonna punish you for that.
If so, Paimon will go see a doctor and get treated. It's all for free. It'd be a waste not to take advantage of this, don't you think?
Maybe, but then again, the treatment would likely include a restricted diet.
Oh no! So no more delicious food then?
That, plus the doctor would make you take the most bitter-tasting medicine ever.
Oh, okay. Maybe Paimon needs to reconsider this idea. So many people in Sumeru want to become scholars. Motivated by this ambition, they all study really hard to try and achieve it. But Paimon bets that the first ever scholar didn't set out to become a scholar. So what do you think the first ever scholar's ambition was?
Probably to get their research paper written as quickly as possible.
Huh? But isn't a scholar's ultimate goal supposed to be pursuing the highest and greatest knowledge or something? Paimon's sure that it must have been because of a fervent desire for knowledge that they became Sumeru's first true scholar.
Writing papers is how you pursue knowledge.
But what about when it's the highest and greatest knowledge of all?
Even then, if you wanted to prove it, you'd need a research paper. And after that, you'd need to start working on another paper to validate your original thesis.
Okay, Paimon's got it. Come on, don't look so sad. It's not like you have to worry about writing papers yourself. You've never had to write a paper before, right? Paimon wants to go visit the Amorta scholars.
When did you become such an avid student, Paimon?
Well, Paimon heard that the Amorta scholars' research is all about nature. Which means they must have to research which animals are edible and which ones taste the best. And that kind of thing. Paimon thinks it'd be really fun to help them out with their research.
In other words, you've got a craving for some tasty organic dishes.
No, Paimon genuinely thinks that it's a really meaningful research topic and wants to help out.
Well, in that case, I think the Amurta scholars might be more interested to find out about Paimon's species and behavioral patterns.
Gee, is that the time? Paimon just remembered we have something else more important to do. Sumpter beasts are adorable. Paimon likes how the people who keep them give them each a special name based on their most distinctive traits.
For all we know, the Sumpter Beasts might be giving each of us a name in return. Maybe that's how they respond when we call their name.
Really? So what kind of name do you think they'd give us?
Moo.
How is anyone supposed to understand that?
A rough translation would be Vociferous pestiferous molliculus niveus microbipedal. That's the scientific name, of course.
Oh? What would the common name be then?
Noisy two-legged critter.
Hey, why keep only the negative traits? There are 6 Darshans in Sumeru. Ooh, it would be cool if Paimon had her own Darshan too. It'll be called Paimonology.
What wisdom would Paimonology stand for?
Practical practical wisdom for everyday life.
So Paimonology scholars would specialize in the art of cooking slimes in 100 different ways, never letting a single Mora escape their grasp, giving people ugly nicknames, etc.?
Whoa, you read Paimon's mind! Also, don't forget how to become the best travel guide in Teyvat. Oh, this is a fantastic idea! Come on, let's go submit a Darshan application to the Academia! From this day on, you'll be the Grand Sage of Paimonology!
I'd like to decline the honor, please.
Did you know that there are all kinds of strange shroomkin in Sumeru?
Oh yeah, here's a fun one. Legend has it there were some forest boars who couldn't live without mushrooms, and the two species gradually formed a symbiotic relationship with each other. Now they're known as shroom boars.
Whoa, that's a lot like us. Paimon can't live without you either.
If you can't live without me, that means I'm the shroom and Paimon's the...
Boar! Hey, wait a second! The residents of the Grand Bazaar are all so talented. They sell their own woven goods, beautiful vases and jars, and delicious-smelling spices that make Paimon's tummy start rumbling. And they all sing and dance really well. Paimon wishes she could do that.
Well, if you're serious about it, there's no reason you couldn't learn.
What? Really?
Well, for starters, you have a natural advantage when it comes to dancing. You won't trip over yourself or accidentally step on someone else's foot.
Oh yeah! Paimon always forgets how useful flying can be. Alright then, let's go boost a move at the Grand Bazaar and watch everyone shower Paimon with admiration.
Aha. So that's what this is about.
People in Sumeru seem to take divination and fortune-telling pretty seriously. For starters, there's astrology, although only the scholars get to practice that. But ordinary citizens have their ways too. They can do divinations with just a cup of coffee.
It's the nation of wisdom, after all. It seems like people have an insatiable curiosity to learn about everything, including their own future.
Paimon heard that they can tell your fate just by looking at the bottom of a finished cup of coffee. Sounds way easier than climbing to the top of a tower and staring at the stars all night.
Oh, so you're interested in learning your fate now?
Yeah, although Paimon's really more interested in finding out what the coffee tastes like. Khadiv and Anissa kept talking about poor Biruni this and poor Sina that. Why do all these words have poor at the front?
Well, per means descendant, and also student. So in this case, they're referring to themselves as the children and students of the great sages of old.
Huh, so that's what it means. From the way they were throwing these words around, Paimon was sure it'd be something to be proud of.
Wait, but isn't it?
Well, Paimon for one would much rather be known as the founding father than have a name that basically says, so-and-so's my daddy. Pretty embarrassing, don't you think?
I have to admit, I've never thought about it like that.
It's not only Sumeru locals at the Academia, huh? There are students from other nations, too. Imagine leaving your hometown behind and traveling to a faraway and unfamiliar land in the pursuit of learning. How inspiring.
We travel to unfamiliar lands pretty often, too.
Huh. You're right. That means we're also super inspiring.
Not in the pursuit of learning, though.
Oh, so we're not as inspiring as the students after all. But we do know the best places to eat in Sumeru and who you can rely on to help you out. That counts as knowledge, right?
Yeah, and to many people, it could be extremely valuable knowledge.
Great! So we're just as inspiring as them after all. The whole of Sumeru City is built on top of a giant tree. How amazing is that? We've seen lots of incredible trees on our journey, haven't we? There's our old stomping ground at Windrise, the frost-bearing tree on Dragonspine, and the sacred sakura on Inazuma. Sumeru's tree doesn't seem to have a fancy name, though. People just call it the Divine Tree.
Sometimes the most important things have the simplest names.
Really? Maybe you have a point. Long names would be kinda inconvenient if you had to say them every day. Anyway, people in the city only have to say down below, and everyone knows they mean the bottom of the tree. What's that saying again? Names aren't things themselves, they're just words for things.
So is Paimon just a word for a thing too?
Yeah! Kinda. But, wait, no! Paimon is just Paimon. So, with Sumeru having so many scholars in different darshans, do you think they end up arguing a lot? You know, just like the rivalry between Lee cuisine and Yurek cuisine in Liyue.
I'm sure they do. Conflict between different schools of thought is the most normal thing ever. As the Liyue martial arts novels say, wherever there are people, there will be conflict.
Wow, what a line! That's heavy. But the scholars in Sumeru probably don't duel like Liyue martial artists, right?
Maybe they settle things with a game of Genius Invocation, TCG.
Oh, good point! A duel of wits. Paimon can just imagine it. When one scholar can't convince another in an argument, he takes out his deck of cards, calmly sits down opposite his opponent, thinks for a moment, and then secures his victory!
That does sound like something that would happen in Sumeru.
The game ends, and the winner says, "Good game," as a sign of respect to his opponent. After that, both sides are back on good terms.
Saying that would probably only escalate the conflict.
Huh? Why?